Bem-vindos ao Headbangers News. Hoje nós temos um convidado muito especial, que é o Peter Pavel WIWCZAREK, vocalista e guitarrista da banda Vader. How is Vader doing through this pandemic, man?
Pretty much the same situation. We all locked down, isolated, but busy. You know, a new album was released not even 3 weeks ago. So still promotion, still interviews. We still giving some information about the album. And you know, the response is pretty good. So we're preparing for the tour, of course, in theory now. But we have to plan in advance. So Vader plans to hit the road again in September in Europe. And if we'll be all right, and if nothing gonna happen, we will continue in the US, maybe in South America as well next year. So actually promotion, but also we trying to prepare ourselves to practicing with the new songs. Just to be ready for the tour when the time will come.
Mm-hmm. And are you guys having assistance from the government as musicians?
Please, no. Not in Poland, definitely. Maybe in Norway, but never in Poland. So we rather had enemies just try to blame Vader and bands for all the problems inside the country, which is bullshit. But no, we don't have support from governments. Forget. We have to help ourselves. That's what we do.
Yeah. And Vader is releasing Solitude and Madness, the 17th full length until now. How does it feel having so much material to play?
Old. No, but seriously, I'm kidding. I stopped counting after album number 5, I think. So, you know, since we became a professional, so we just playing a lot of tours. And to have new songs for the next tour, now we have to record the album. So that's why we're doing that. So we record new albums to have new songs for the tour. and you know, we're busy guys. So since 1993, when we hit the road for the first time in the West, that was the first album and first tour in Europe, both around in the US with D-Side and Suffocation. So we play we play around 100 shows every year, and we're still active. We never gave up. And as you see from the last album, Vader still got energy enough just to spread in the word like a disease, but a good one.
After so many records, do you think Solitude in Madness still shows a progression in your way of doing music?
We started discography with the first album recorded in 1993, and that was already a compilation of pretty aggressive and speedy song. And all what happened after that until the last album recorded this year, it's just a natural evolution. You know, we added some little things just to make, or we make the balance between a very fast song and slower song on the album a little bit different. But actually, Vader is Vader, and everybody who knows Vader knows what to expect from the band, you know. Mm-hmm. So you may expect a kick in the ass, and we play fast music, aggressive music, and that's how we express ourselves, you know. And we not follow trends. We didn't start to play some real atmospheric music, like with the clean guitars or something. No, not here. So we're just not looking at it. We do what we love. You know, this is the music we love, we do best, and that's why we play this music, you know. Metal today is so wide spectrum of different music, actually. So everybody, if somebody is looking for more soft music, there's still plenty of bands to find. And you know, Vader is not the one to satisfy all 100% metal fans around the world. but definitely we play music for those who love extremity in metal, fast music, heavy music, especially the last album is dedicated for this sort of fans, you know.
And how do you deal with reviews, especially when the reviewers compare your new work with older ones like Litany, recorded 20 years ago?
You know, the new album is a little bit step back to the roots, to the first Vader era when we focused totally on speed and brutality, more rough songs, and when speed was priority. But in modern times, so that's the difference. Like we got new guys in the band, we have experience, like over 35 years of experience, so that means a lot. And so that makes actually the difference, you know. Of course, but
Yeah.
but still aggressive music, you know. And comparison, of course, for the new generation of Vader fans, those who join us on the last releases, this album might sound aggressive and more violent. But for all those veterans who follow us since the very beginning, this is rather like a step back to the roots. And this new album reminds more like Black to the Blind to Litany, this style, rather.
Hearing Solitude and Madness is another great Vader release. I still get impressed with the great riff work from Spider does on every record. On the previous record, The Empire, the song Send Me Back to Hell had a huge impact on me. How are the fans experiencing this new record?
The feedback is already extraordinary, and honestly, I did not expect that good, you know, response for the album. And I know that our fans are pretty much divided. So some of them like more songs, like you mentioned, the slower parts, more heavy, more melodic style, and the other part likes more this blasting beats, like No Mercy style. But all in all, this is still Vader, so we do not play ballads typical. So slower songs like Send Me Back to Hell, it's kind of ballads and Vader. So this is what we play, you know, especially to give a chance to relax for the drummer when we play the songs live. And so we need slower and heavy songs just to take a breath when we just like banging heads like on stage for over an hour, actually, you know. So that's a lot. And you know, we like both, you know. Of course, we focus on the speed music with fast music, but every next album gives something different, you know. The last one is pretty much like needs for speed, but all we can find on the Empire album is more connected to classical metal with those catch riffs and a little bit slower parts. So in those albums, balance was more on the heaviness. On the new album, balance more on speed, you know. That's that's what happens.
The beginning for Shock and Awe, I don't know if this is like this. There are some rewritten elements from the chapter Revelations, from the Holy Bible. Is it like that? Was that the intention for that song, or was it like you picked that from somewhere else?
Actually, Shock and Awe, that's why we choose the song for the first single, because this is a definition of the whole album, actually. It's short, brutal, intense, and like a title, Shock and Awe. And this is actually, in this very song, this is not that much with the Bible. However, you know, the style of the writing, this is my song, so I can just say about that a little bit. So I do stories, and the story has usually the real background, the real influence, like this one, Shock and Awe, actually about the war in Iraq, you know, and it's trying to say about the war and how it is. There's no sides, because this Shock and Awe was a nickname for the operations in Iraq, you know, for American soldiers, but actually how the soldiers act and how the terrorist, which means the other side, the opposite side works, it's the same. You kill to survive, you know. So I'm trying to say about, you know, the word we use in the media to show the warfare. It's just a propaganda.
but there are real people who just fight to survive. For soldiers, there's no sides. They just fight to survive and just to get back home to families. And politics make the war always with good side and bad side. There's always what are there. And the songs mainly is about that. But I talked not straight about this. I trying to create stories, and these stories might be interpreted different. Like you found something biblical in that. It's okay. It's like many other songs are exactly like that. Had that feel, the spiritual, symbolic feel. You can interpret it in your own way. So it makes everything more private. More like for you. So you use your imagination and you interpret what you hear in your own way. That's what I love in metal, and that's why I love this style of creativity, in writing
Mhm.
lyrics.
What is your relation with religion nowadays? We get older and sometimes we get a little bit more scared. What is your relation to religion nowadays?
I get nothing with the religious people unless they're not trying to change the world or change the other people. Religion should be like belief, maybe belief, not religion. Belief is a private thing. It's a private world. It's something like your world, and it shouldn't be anything like a religion for everybody, like a systems, because since systems means dividing people. If you believe in this, wrong, you're bad. If you believe in that, you're good. Shouldn't be like that because we should respect all beliefs until they're not trying to hurt us or our families or our people. But religion is always connected with politics, which means with territorial, fighting for territory, for control, everything like that. That way, I'm still, since the very beginning, I'm anti-system, anti-religious, but not anti-people who believe in something. That's difference. Of course, when I was teenage guy, I was more hating everything connected to Christian church because actually this is the religion I know. I can't
Mhm.
say anything about the older religions. I knew nothing back then about that systems. But actually now I'm more experienced. I was traveling. I was talking to people who were from different places, like from different religions. And actually this is the same problem. They all have the same problem because they're trying to be controlled by people, by religions and politics using the religion to control people. And there's nobody like that. And I'm trying to respect all people with all beliefs, but as I say, unless they're not trying to control me. It doesn't mean that we should follow just one only religion in the world because there's nothing like that. Because all
Mhm.
is subjective, you know what I mean? This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
hard this is hard theme and all the wars, almost all the wars we had in our history is because of religion and all these differences. So what's good in that? Tell me.
Yeah. Now we have a
In this,
pandemic that's dividing
yes,
people.
and this situation maybe is something we really need as a humanity because now when we isolated, the life slowed down so much. We have time to think about something we never had time for, before. We have time for families. We have time for something we did not have before because the life was so fast we never had time for. Pandemic gave us it was kind of a shock for everybody. But when we stayed isolated with our friends, families, finally we can just think about everything. To find the time to think about what we do and how our life is. Is it really good? Or we just rushing? We're running to die because this is the final act which will happen. We like it or not. So
Yes.
maybe it's good to use opportunity and just to use the time to think about our life and how it is and is it good really or what we need from our life and we happy with the life. You know what I mean? It's just some philosophy I know, but it's worth it. Trust me. So maybe this few months we have to stay in isolation. So it reminds me all those days when sometimes people they especially went somewhere to stay isolated just to think about life and things we never have time for, in this crowded place called the earth.
Hmm.
So who knows? Maybe this is good thing.
The lyrics for "And Satan Wept," it's like an impactful title for a song, are pretty pessimistic when you think humanity is a failure or even a cosmic failure. What do you think went wrong?
No, I'm not a prophet, and I just said that I'm not a guy who's trying to say what is good or not. But I'm given the pictures. I given the stories to think about. Like people, some of them might sound sad, pessimistic, but they're just words to think about. When you see some movies or read the stories, the bloody stories and horror stories, it doesn't mean you should just scare all the time or you should go and kill somebody. This is just something to make you thinking. And I pretty often give stories in the style of what if Satan wept or into oblivion, and one of those. What if there's nothing after life, and actually we live just now and here until we die, and then nothing? What if? So what if I'm trying to transverse religion? Some stories we know since childhood given to us by church. About like dividing the whole universe into good and bad. What if there's nothing like that? What if we just give names, but there is no black and white? The whole world is more in gray tones, not black and white. This is more symbolic meanings. And that's why in Vader, I use symbolic meanings so often. We can say metal and Vader is so symbolic meaning, and this is a priority in speaking and emotional, And this is how I interpret it, how I express myself, and how I talk to the people. I'm not a politician or a guy who's trying to say straight about like my feelings. I'm trying to give the stories will make you thinking about and will give you a chance to think about it, not just follow what I think. You know what I mean? This is maybe hard to explain, but actually this is easy. It's all about interpretation, thinking, imagination. Imagination is a great gift given to us, and we should to use it pretty often, because the world will look much better if we can use our imagination and we can create something much better than realities. Metal helped me a lot in the bad days of 80s, when Poland was not a country like today, and we lived in this totalitarian regime called communism, and there was nothing actually nice around. But we were happy because we had our world created. We are young, of course, that's different. But we had music that helped us to create something which helped us to escape from bad realities around. That's easy. I'm absolutely sure that such a situation happened everywhere, and I know because I love to read books about the history of the bands I love, like Black Sabbath, Priest, Lemmy, and if they say about what happened when they started to love music, it was exactly the same. They lived in different times, just in different realities, but usually something bad around made them love music, create music, and do bands. And this is how it is. And I'm sure that the situation with, let's say, Sepultura, in Brazil was pretty much the same. There was some situation for young guys they didn't like. They tried to scream loud about that, and metal is perfect for that. And still is.
Now we have a pretty dumb president with dumb attitudes, and he's like doing everything wrong. Now metal will grow like something so huge he won't get rid of it. So everyone is like revolted here, and there's a lot of hate going on. Yes, right
So
now.
we have the same in Poland, artists, especially like those from the metal scene, were always strong. And we never, hurt people without reason. But if somebody tried to steal our music and say that we are bad, we can fight. We always
Yes.
fight, on
Yes.
stage or in real. So it depends, how hard situation is, So I think, the Brazil is beautiful country. And I was always like pretty much amazed, but your love to the metal music, hard music in your country, you know, even if you had, you know, this delicate souls for flamenco kind of style and, you know, this different music, metal was still in the heart because of it's so much emotional. And Brazilians, as the whole South America, I can say globally, you know, they're so much emotional, and that's why the metal is so much popular over there, because emotions take over, you know. It's the same in Poland, by the way, and maybe that's why this metal is something that connects Poland, country like Poland and Brazil,
Yes.
because we had that need and heart, you know, to scream
Mhm.
loud and feel that.
And Vader toured Brazil in 2018, the last time, and the set list was a killer set list. How do you select the songs for a set list?
It's a problem, you know, because we of course we can't play shows which is like 3 hours or something, not with this music. It's just too intense, you know. The drummer
Mhm.
probably die after 2 hours of drumming, and we want to keep them alive as much as possible. I know that our fans, they have different, you know, songs that they wished to hear, but we're not able just to bring all the songs for everybody like every night. So we're trying to change set list with next visit to connect the set list with actual situation. You know, like in the beginning of this year, because the new album was not yet released, we focus on three albums which have anniversary on 2020, which was De Profundis Litany and The Art of War. It's very important titles in our discography, by the way.
Yes.
On tour in US was mostly a combination of those songs, plus, of course, the new songs we already knew and the fans already knew from singles released, you know. So
Mhm.
we try to satisfy all Vader fans, given some new stuff and some classic stuff from the past, you know. And because we're not that band who like just to make one set list and then play it over and over for the next 5 years, so we change the set list pretty often. And actually, there's no two tours we played with selection of songs which would be that almost the same. You know, we still try to keep this and the important songs like hits from Vader discography, but still add something new and new and new, or bring back some olds, you know, we never played before. So this is important because we still stay connected with fans, and before the tour, we know what fans say and what they wish to hear. And we of course not everybody because it's not possible, but we try just to follow that and bring back, you know, as many songs as possible to satisfy our Vader maniacs, you know, around the world.
And a weird situation once, I think it was the first time I saw Vader live, was when you opened to for Wasp
Oh,
in 2005. Yeah, when you were promoting the album The Beast. What do you remember from back then?
well, that was absolutely special show. Like first, like so we never expected just to play. That was two shows actually. So we never expected to support Wasp and especially in Brazil. You know? So that was a special show in a special country, like a double great. You know, and the show was absolutely crazy. You know, I know that Wasp is a classical and it's so popular in Brazil and US. You know, especially. But I didn't feel that Vader was just like not good welcome. You know, we played different, but by the fans, which was like a mix of like crazy fans, like extreme fans, and those more classic music metal fans, you know, as well. The both bands played pretty good, you know, and the response was absolutely great. And after the show, we could meet, you know, the crew, and actually there was just Blackie who did not show up on party, but the whole band we had really great time, so much fun in the hotel and
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. So we even tried to help each other on some shows where they brought, you know, a lot of stuff, but 90% of those the gear they brought was this huge Blackie's mic stand. You know, he was
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yeah,
it's looking like a bike on a feathers, like, you know,
yeah.
absolute. So by the way, I love that show, you know. And so they focused more on that image than on just the rest instruments, and they had some problems I hear, like with the customs and whatever. But whatever, show was great, and when anytime if that be any opportunity to repeat that one, we are ready.
Yeah.
What's great.
And you know, Solitude in Madness was released in Brazil, and now people can buy the Brazilian version of your record here in Brazil. You could say something to the fans to support you guys, since you can't really have any tours right now. The best chance for them to support you is buying the album, right?
You know, buying the albums or listen to the music, because today, you know, this streaming is so much popular. So you do not need to buy the album to support the band. Just listen to the music if you like it, and that's the best support for us. You know, I feel huge respect to Brazilian fans all the time, and every time we play in Brazil, it's a great day. So I can't wait, me and the rest of my friends from Vader. So we can't wait to get back to Brazil to play more from the new album as well. And as for now, just enjoy the music on Solid Madness. I'm sorry if it's too loud and too fast, but this is Vader. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll like it. You're
Yeah.
Brazilians. You like fast. And just see you soon as possible on tour. You know, obrigado.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Peter, for your time, and
Oh,
take care, and see you next time.
stay safe and stay metal forever.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.